Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping product-based business owners turn into revenue-generating, successful, happy product bosses. I'm Jacqueline Snyder.
And I'm Mina Kunlo-Sita. Together through digital courses, coaching, and masterminds, we've helped over 50,000 students from startup to multi-million-dollar businesses scale their sales while blending in their dream life.
It gets lonely out there in the product business world. We fully believe a business shouldn't be built alone. There's room at the top for all of us.
So let's get scrappy and creative together, Product Boss, to be profitable, make more sales, and grow your visibility.
Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey friends, it's podcast recommendation time.
This month, we're all about listening to Another Bite, hosted by John Dick, Jory Monroe, Leslie Green, and Ariel Boswell, which is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals.
Each week, they break down episodes of everyone's favorite business television show, Shark Tank. No kidding, this sounds like the most amazing podcast because they offer their own unique thoughts, spin-off companies, critiques, and even talk with some of the folks who pitched the sharks and lived to tell the tale. I will tell you, Mina, this sounds like me just in general when I watched the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We really enjoyed one of their most recent episodes where they discuss Glow Recipe and how they have built a customer-first community in the skincare industry through opening up that two-way communication channel between them and their customers, which, as you know, for product-based business owners is key.
Listen to Another Bite wherever you get your podcasts. Have you heard the news? Multi-Stream Machine is open for enrollment for a limited time.
If you're a product-based business owner who's ready to finally have a clear roadmap to build a sustainable and thriving business that supports itself and pays you the salary you dream of,
then you're going to want to head to multistreammachine.com and check it out. All right, now let's jump into the episode.
Hey friends, Mina here. Today is a really special episode because you get a double-sode, which means twice the fun of student spotlights in one episode. First, we're going to start off with Gina Rosen of Fan Sparkle, and then we're going to go into the Rachel Dunn episode of Rachel Dunn Jewelry, and she is a crowd favorite in our community, so I'm super excited to share both these episodes with you. The thing I love about both of these stories is that these are two product bosses that both work full-time jobs, and they do their business as side hustles. So it's proof and inspiration that it is possible for all of our side hustling product bosses out there. So let's dive in.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our student spotlight. And we are so excited today. We are actually meeting a new student. When I say new to our world, Mina and I, in terms of like really getting to know her and her business. And we have Gina Rosen of Fan Sparkle on. Just super excited to have her on today and talk about her journey being a multi-stream machine student and where her business was and where her business is today.
Yeah. And I know it's February now, but when she joined Multi-Stream Machine, it was in September. So I'm still in the mode of thinking it is September of last year. So this will be a surprise to all of us that we're going to see how much has changed in that little bit of time. Okay. So welcome down. Is that what they say on Price is Right?
Welcome
Come on
to
down,
the stage.
Gina.
Come on. Hi, Gina. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi. So tell us a little bit about you. So, what's your business? What do you sell? What do you make?
So I've been in business 3.5 years up to last September. Had just a website, a passive social media presence. But my company is called Fan Sparkle, and the focus is on collegiate jewelry, sorority jewelry, and stickers.
Amazing.
I can tell by your background over there.
Uh-huh. And also, we were talking earlier, so everybody listening, we were talking earlier about how Gina actually took PTO to do this interview. So thank you, Gina, for that, for inspiring all of us in your time off. And then also, that means that this is your side hustle. So you started this as a side hustle 3 years ago. What prompted you to do that? And then also you joined Multi-Stream Machine in September, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So let's start with that. Like, what got you into doing this side hustle?
I've always I've started many businesses in the past, tended to steer clear of product-based businesses just because the higher cost behind them. So I've done consulting for my work, my line of work, but it wasn't fun. I wasn't passionate about it. And you can see on my wall, like I'm passionate about college football, and it sounds silly, but all things kind of just came together. And I thought, I'm not getting any younger. And I felt that I was living a compromise. And if I didn't try, I would never know. And so, really, I started the business because I wasn't satisfied with the college jewelry I was finding. It was as
Amazing.
simple as that. And I have a very large group of friends that felt the same way. So that was the impetus of the company. But really, it's evolved into ways to self-express, ways to connect. One of the coolest things is before I even started the company, one of my best friends, I met her because I had a UGA toe ring on, and I was at school, and she came to me and we started talking, and she was a big Georgia football fan. And 23 years later, we're still friends.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
really, it's neat to be able to see these little things, whether it's the jewelry they wear or clothes or the stickers they have on their water bottle, and find those little things that resonate. And maybe it's just a smile that you get from someone, or maybe it's a little brief conversation, but it's connection.
I love that.
So you decided, so were you in a challenge with us back in September? You're probably in the Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge that you signed up for?
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
And so what sort of prompted you, what kind of made you make the decision to take the leap and join Multi-Stream Machine?
So I had no intention of joining. I was going to do the Rock Your Holiday promotion, and genuinely, the both of you, you were the reasons why. Because the very first call that I joined, I felt like this is my tribe. It was a very instant, I could relate to you, as wives and mothers and starting out, having a side hustle, and it wasn't those typical stories you hear in Entrepreneur Magazine where you're like, oh, that's not me, but you guys, I felt like you were me, and so it just gave me just this burst of motivation and inspiration and courage, really. And that was it. I hadn't felt that ever. So I think the next day I joined Multi-Stream Machine.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I'm glad that you found us, which is so great. And then you jumped into Multi-Stream Machine. So and I think that I don't know if we mentioned this, that we always ask this most times to people that we meet, but do you know your numbers? So so during that time when you're doing the side hustle, I kind of want to get into, your life before and your life after kind of joining the community and Multi-Stream Machine. Do you have an idea of your numbers? And would you be willing to share those with us as well?
Sure. And percentage wise, they sound massive, but it's because I was so small. And scale wise, the reality is it's still pretty small, but significant. It's still significant growth. And I look at that as, well, this is just the start of it,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So in 2021, and so again, I had just a website, passive social media presence. I had $310 all year in sales. And so all of 2022, my sales were just over 7,500. So, that was a 2,300% increase. But again, it's because we're talking about small numbers. The kicker is that 87.5% of my 2022 sales were from the period of September to December.
Oh my gosh.
So after you joined
So pretty much all of them,
right.
I mean, nearly 90%.
I was at $850 in sales through August. And the remainder of those sales were from September to December.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, that was basically from what you said to about, you made another like $6,200 in the last quarter of the year. So September, October, November, December, selling it. That's huge. And as a side hustle, right? So this is, added revenue. So what did you jump in, or what did you do initially when you joined Multi-Stream Machine that you feel like sort of started to shift it and change it for you?
Leaning into my bestsellers. So many of these things are simple concepts, which is what makes it even better. They feel attainable and not intimidating, but they're very effective. So leaning into my bestsellers, pricing was huge. I was not charging enough. I still struggle with that. But I raised prices. Sales went up, not down. And I had people comment, wow, this is so reasonably priced after I had raised the prices. Bundling was a life changer. I mean, that's a total game changer. So I started doing vendor shows, and this is where the courage part comes in. I thought, why would I'm going to be there in person? Now it's personalized, and this is me, and the rejection would be on me, so it's very different than kind of hiding behind a website. But it was so well received, and people just laughed. They see the stickers and they look at them, and they're laughing. And I love that I made these and they like them, and it makes them laugh,
Yeah.
But the vendor events was a big thing. Let's see, it was 11 days into being in Multi-Stream Machine. By the 11th day, I had applied for and it was approved for 5 vendor events in the fall winter timeframe. And I also heard about the Painted Tree from the Multi-Stream Machine group. I had never heard of that company before. And it turns out I have 3 in my area. So I applied that day and was approved that same day. So
wow,
Matt, I wouldn't have even known to search for it. I didn't know what I didn't know. So between those 2 things, and my daughter is a competitive swimmer, I thought, her swim club has a bunch of kids, and kids love stickers. Let me call them and see if they want some stickers. And they invited me to be a vendor at a huge swim meet, thousands of children at Georgia Tech. And so, that was one of our first big shows. So all of this again was, I attribute to the courage and the motivation and the inspiration from this group.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And then
these are like minor tweaks, right? These weren't like I went through the course from A to Z. I watched all the modules. I overhauled my business, and then I started to see results, right?
No, they were very, but as a matter of fact, I call them my critical nuggets. It's the little things that I hear, and it's just like light bulb goes off, and electricity, and I'm like, yes, this I can do this. Small little thing, and so and actually, the concept of eliminating friction has really changed the way I think about everything, not just shipping charges on your website, which is something that I still want to try to work through, but even at the vendor shows, making it very clear. Pricing is very clear. They don't have to ask me how much things cost. They can see, and if it's too much, then they just keep going, and even in the Painted Tree, it's really postured the way I, merchandise the storefront, so that it's very clear what I sell. Most of the stuff is clear how much it costs, and it's worked out.
That's awesome. And, I think that for everybody that's joining Multi-Stream Machine, you kind of go to the ones that you need clarity around. So for example, you got into the vendor shows. Did you go into the in-person, selling old school module playbook?
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, well, you need to go into there.
So there's still so much that I can learn.
Yeah, there is. In that particular module, it talks about how you can up-level your booth and how you show up at a trade show, even in the ways that you speak. And it's actually curated from tips with our Multi-Stream Machine students, as well as myself and Jacqueline. So it is a whole kind of playbook in there. So highly recommend it because of so much. I mean, literal thousands of dollars, 90% of what you made in revenue came from, vendor shows. Imagine how much you just the little tweaks that you could make. So I'm super excited to see how that could help as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what's interesting to me actually, because Mina asking that question means no, like you improved your in person, but you actually, it's like when we say like it's not osmosis, but I'm curious, and let me know if I'm correct here, is that the confidence to push the button and invest in yourself and invest in a multi-stream machine and to be surrounded by the community may have just been enough confidence for you to start to put yourself out there. So sometimes would you say that's somewhat correct?
100% correct. Yes.
Yeah. So I want you all to think about this as you're listening is like, so much of the time we doubt ourselves, we doubt we doubt our abilities, we don't believe in ourselves, we give ourselves all this like negative thought in our brains, and we don't realize that that is actually the thing that's stopping us from going forward. So sometimes those
the
little
limiting
things,
belief.
Yeah. And so for example, and our Lauren, who runs our company, basically did this video. She showed us this video of the Army general who did a speech to college kids and said every in the Army or the Navy or whatever, in the military, they make their beds every day. And part of the reason for making their beds is that first accomplishment of the day proves to yourself that then like it gives you that confidence to keep executing tasks throughout the day. And I feel like in response to you here is that taking that investing, this is a side hustle. It's not like you were making a ton of money, because a lot of people will say, I'm not going to sign up for a multi-stream machine because I don't have enough money yet, right? Like when I make sales, when I maybe make $2,000, then I'll be ready to do it. But you had made $700, which was not the amount for the investment. And so, but that courage to click it and say, okay, now I'm surrounded by people. Now I have the tools. Immediately, I mean, you got into 5 vendor shows, you got into a retailer. I mean, these are huge things. And then you still have access to the entire program as you continue to up level.
Yeah.
Yes.
First 10 days, as you said, right? First 11 days.
That's
and
right.
so now I can't imagine the next 365 days, what will happen a year from now.
Interesting though, is that from when I look at your numbers, because let's say September you signed up and it's mid to late September is when you probably signed up. So let's give it October, November, December. You really averaged $2,000 a month. In revenue, which is something we say to our community. Like, I fully believe that you all can make $2,000 a month, no matter what you're doing and no matter what you're selling. So do you realize that you started to generate that average?
I was so busy. I couldn't look at the numbers. I mean, it was every week, I worked during the week, and then every weekend felt like a show. And it was grinding out more stickers because we were selling, so many of those. But yeah, when I talk, and of course I evangelize this to anyone that will listen. At several vendor shows, I've actually talked about this group, and I tell them, I say, what is it worth to have a playbook for growth and have access to a like-minded community? Like, put a price on that. And if you worked backwards and said, okay, what does this actually cost on a weekly basis? Because bad decisions and wasted time comes at a cost. It's not a hard cost like cash, but it is a cost, and time is our only commodity. So if you are wasting that only commodity, that is coming at a cost as well. And so if you have the knowledge, but you lack the courage, what good is that?
Right.
If you can't get off go, it's as good as nothing, So, so much, just seeing the stories from other students and reading their successes and their failures, it's real. Setbacks are real, but the support of the community is a constant. You have that safe place.
Yeah. And it's so true. Like you go through the journey and you might not have the courage, and you do need people in your life to support you in the way that, hey, you can do this. Or even by leading, and you see like, oh my gosh, that person over there, and we have a lot of people in our community that do have full-time jobs and it is their side hustle. And they kind of live that same life as you right now of the season of life where they're working full-time right now. And they, on the weekends, go to vendor shows because they know that that's what they need to do in this holiday, that what they needed to do in the holiday season. And so, for example, they are like, they even them, you seeing them over there, and even if they don't say anything, you realize how not alone you are in it. And I think that that's where limiting beliefs come in, is that you just feel so alone and you're just alone with your thoughts. And we all know how our thoughts can spiral out, or we can feel really lonely on an island. And then, but when you see this is possible and you're like, ooh, somebody over there is doing it too. I don't feel as alone in having to go to these vendor shows. I don't feel as alone in having to go to a full-time job during the week, or like you said, and they offer a different perspective. They offer a different suggestion. Even the paint a tree being one of those things where it's like, oh, I didn't even know that existed, even though there was 3 in your local area, and it's like, oh, wow, that really broadened, my mind to even the possibility of what this business could look like. And I think, that is really amazing for sure.
It was also going through that process gave me feedback, real feedback. You have to apply to these shows. They look at your products. And the emails were, wow, I really love your stickers. Or, some of the shows, it has to be only handmade. So I can't go with my collegiate jewelry because that's purchased wholesale. So it just depended on the different show. But to hear like, wow, I really love your stuff. This is great. That was something that I hadn't heard. I felt it. And I like to consider myself as someone that has a pretty good sense of confidence. I try to focus on, positive thinking, but I still had doubts, and this group was still, it was just that catalyst that just pushed me, over that hump. It's been great.
I love that.
Your stickers are so good, by the way. What are your best sellers? Like, what have you kind of determined? Because you have sorority jewelry, you have collegiate jewelry, you have stickers, which are very, there's Nina, I don't know if you've gone in here, but like so many that we all need. So what are the things that right now are kind of driving your revenue, that like 80-20 or your best sellers?
So after I attended, I think it was last week, maybe, or maybe it was the week before, on looking at your product mix, and I did. And so we do have way too many stickers. It gets hard to just not want to make more cute stickers.
Yes.
But it's time, and it's just more to handle. So I looked at the mix of sales, and it was, I think there was like 90% of our sales came from 50 stickers, and we have almost 150, Can
I guess some of them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me guess. So axolotl, is that one doing really well?
Oh, yep, that is.
Axolotl is trending.
This little zoomies sticker.
I was going to say dog ones.
Zoomies,
yeah.
Well. I miss that about having a dog, the zoomies.
I'm going to say that your medical ones, like the nurse ones and stuff, are probably not your best sellers.
They actually are.
They are?
Yeah.
See, it's interesting to me, because it's like there's parts of you that are like you're attracting younger people, like college kids and stuff like that. But then there's also like the mom side of it all. Like, so my kids are swimmers. The dogs and the coffee.
My sister-in-law, she has her nursing degree, and it's very much a culture of its own. Like they, they go to nursing school, they do it's a really big deal to get your coat and pinned or whatever. I forget what ceremony we went to for her, but I think that for sure they spend their money on, they're so intense on their schooling and their working that they definitely spend their money on planning and stickers and scrubs. Like they're in that world. They're so in deep on it, I
was just curious from a customer perspective of like who we draw towards us, so tell us some of your best sellers. What are some of your other ones?
The food stickers, this one I have on my water bottle, that she believed she could, sushi did.
She did. Yeah, I love those.
and
there's like a miso how I roll or something you did.
The one that says I'm all that and dim sum.
Oh yeah, that one's cute.
So, and the sports, again, my daughter's a swimmer, so we have a lot of swim stickers. Those, the swimming is my superpower. That one's a really big seller. Eat my bubbles. So it's this kind of little pockets. The soccer stickers sell really well. And I think it's part of it too, is where you live. Like we're a big soccer, tennis, kind of swim community. And so that's where, the shows that I'm going to are kind of within that little bubble, I guess.
My
But with
favorites are,
nurses,
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
with nurses, typically they get a water bottle from the hospital, and
Right.
it'll say XYZ hospital. Well, they don't want to get it mixed up. And so that's where a lot of times they will put stickers on them to distinguish, like, this is my water bottle. And, so that's
Interesting.
been a lot of the things that people have said they use those for.
So ones I like are I would stop shopping, but I'm not a quitter, which is quite accurate. And then there was another one that I was like, it was about texting.
Oh,
It was something like,
I'm a bad
you know,
texter, but please don't call me.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you know me, you speak to my soul. So stickers are your best sellers. And how about the collegiate jewelry or the sorority jewelry, like the other things that you're selling?
For collegiate jewelry, there's definitely very specific pieces that tend to draw people, whether it's through shows or at the painted tree. The necklace that I have on here, that just the multi-charm with the collegiate logo and the state and the little color, those are really big seller, as well as these tassel earrings that just has the logo on it. And I have these rhinestone pins that are just big and gaudy and fabulous and sparkly. And those, jean jackets, hats, sweaters, you can put them on so many different things. Those do really well as well.
It probably, especially since you're local too, so those are popular, especially locally, because they get to see them, touch them. And then also your fan base is there, so it's like they see it, they're like, "Ooh, I really need this." And you're able to kind of talk about it in real time with them. So that's amazing.
Right.
So what are your
Yeah.
plans for this year? So we've entered into a new year. And you had the last quarter with, multi-stream machine, making those tweaks, starting to make an average of like $2,000 a month. So what are the plans for this year? Because you still have your full-time job and you have this as your side hustle. So what's happening next for Fan Sparkle?
So the shows and painted tree, has given me the confidence that, I have things that people want. They will open their wallet for this. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on top of everything else, right? Having to change up the merchandising at the store and making sure that inventory is stocked. And I don't have a way to store inventory there. I have to bring it. And the shows, I don't think anyone who's done a vendor show can know how much work it is hauling a tent and tables and setup. It's a lot. So I would like to drive more traffic to the website and lean more into web sales and wholesale, which has put me squarely on the SEO path. So the call that you recently had on that, it is something that's intimidated me for a while, because there's just so much, you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But I'm starting small, and it's the long game. You're not going to see immediate results. It takes time, but if you don't start, you'll never see the results.
Right.
So I've been working on with some services, not agencies. That cost is still prohibitive, but I want to see what I can do and the things that I can tweak to help with SEO. And I want to do a blog. That was one of the biggest, recommendations, just other channels that can help contribute to your SEO landscape. So that's my focus for this year.
Can I give you some suggestions?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I cannot help myself with the coaching. So,
I was trying to help myself, but let's see where you go.
So path to profit. So for all of you that are joining Multi-Stream Machine, you discover in the first module what your path to profit is. So what you're going to be focusing on in systems, visibility, and sales. So for example, knowing what Gina wants to do with the business, I want to pick out a path to profit for her and kind of reinforce that if that's what she's thinking. So one, I think that she definitely, because she's gotten the feedback in person and she has all that data that she can comb through, she should focus on her bestsellers and eliminate the things that she doesn't do that well. I think absolutely she should focus on her website and getting that ready for gifting. So there's lots and lots of people that locally you can reach that, you can gift with, what is it, Georgia, University of Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
University of Georgia, that there's alumni, there is people who know, that watch the games. My husband watches football all day long. I swear it's never not on. So we have our teams and there's lots of people that don't live in your local area. So getting your website, focusing on gifting, making sure your pricing is correct. Your bestsellers are, they know in 3 seconds on your website what you're selling. So get your website cleaned up. Also, I love the fact that you're saying search engine optimization because there is the playbook on that. So 2 things, website, search engine optimization. And then I think that for in-person, because you found success there, I think you do continue it until you don't continue it. Push it until really dial that in and hone it in, watch that module, go through the playbook, do it better, and then know that your intention is to move a different revenue stream, whether it be online, wholesale. So website would be online, wholesale is another one that's in there, or even Amazon, so I think that would be really great. And seeing what items are gifted would be really cool to discover.
The other thing I didn't mention, it was serendipity. Right around the time that I joined Multi-Stream Machine, I got an email from Amazon and it said that I was invited to sell on Amazon. And I thought, this is a scam. I am not clicking this link, but it bugged me that it was ignoring it. And so I work in IT and I asked someone in my day job, I was like, hey, can you verify the authenticity of this link?
I love that you can do that. I have so many emails I need to send your way to verify that they're real.
But he did, and he did backlink tracking and all this reverse lookup, and he's like, it looks legit. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I'm looking up the guy's name on LinkedIn, making sure that he really works for Amazon, and he did. And I ended up setting up a meeting with him, and he said, less than 10% of sellers get invited to sell on Amazon. And I was like, what? Really, the universe was just connecting. And so I didn't do it. It was just too much. It was the shows and it was Paint a Tree, and I couldn't put the time into Amazon. So I don't know if that invite has expired. But I know that there's also a good bit of information on selling.
Were they going to you for the collegiate stuff, or what was he approaching you for?
I would do the stickers. He just said the website that his team sources online for products, but I can't. I don't think I could compete on the collegiate stuff. A lot of the companies that I wholesale from also sell on Amazon. So I wouldn't want to put that amount of effort.
Yeah. Okay. And even you don't need an invitation. You have Multi-Stream Machine, and it will tell you step by step how to get on there. I actually walk you through how to do it exactly, so you can choose at any time to get on there. And it doesn't have to be right now. I think that it would be a good thing to consider, because the module is actually called "Is Amazon Right for You Right Now?" Mm-hmm. And so you go through that module, and if you want to do it, if you plan to do it for, let's say, fourth quarter being your busy season, that's what you prepare yourself for example,
But Gina, I would actually email him back, reconnect, and then ask, what part did the team see as part of your brand that are the products? Because while your mind is telling you, I don't want to compete on whatever, they know, the fact that they contacted you means they know what's lacking on the platform. So
Okay.
depending on what they saw on your site, they kind of know like, hey, this would be a great product that we're actually lacking. Because remember, Jeff Bezos says he wants to sell everything to everyone on Amazon. So they already kind of, even though you're saying it's the stickers and you have, again, a mindset thing as to why maybe the other stuff might not work, they might be like, no, actually, there is a presence here for this. We help another company that makes $1 million on Amazon alone that does kind of like your jewelry for your fan stuff. They do it for like cheeky, flirty engraved items, right? Like you would give to a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And they do really well on the platform. So just leave all doors open. And like Mina said, we will walk you step by step on Multi-Stream Machine, and you have that access to that module. And we just recently updated it, that when you're ready, it's there for you. And that's passive. You don't have to ship. You don't have to show up to a vendor show. You have to you just get your stuff on Amazon, you ship to them, you make sure that you're doing Prime, so fulfilled by Amazon. And now you're just raking in money. And all you have to do is ship every so often, like the bulk product to Amazon, and then they'll do the selling. They'll do the fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is great. And, that's if it's right for you, because there's some people that might not be right for. So for example, I actually really do like that you're getting that feedback and that data in your in-person show. So you can use that knowledge, and you can figure out the messaging, and then even the other modules of figuring out your search engine optimization and your keywords. We talked about, applying that towards product descriptions, even on Amazon, or sometimes people would do it for Etsy or for wherever they're selling. What the thing is that, I like that what you said earlier about that it's simple, but significant, or simple but effective, right? And the thing is, all the things that we're teaching are fundamental things. It's how to dial them in. And that's where people start to get, it's the nuance of business. And that's what we're teaching in Multi-Stream Machine, is a lot of those things just have to be nuanced a bit so that you can do it better with less effort. And that is also where most people will quit, because it's like they're trying to brute force their way through it, or they're like, I have to do vendor shows, or I have to do SEO, but it's going to take this amount of money. There's these things in their head that, that might be blocking their way of, obstacles on what they need to do. So I think it's great that you are just so open to all these different things, and that you're such an action taker, because even within 11 days of you joining Multi-Stream Machine, you opened the doors that you needed to, and then you said no to the things that weren't right for you. So I love that you knew that, I know as a business owner, my gut is telling me not Amazon right now, but I'm going to jump into Multi-Stream Machine, so that will be available to me to learn more about, so I can decide later on if that's true or not, And so great job. Bravo for, taking charge of your business. And even as a side hustler, it's just so incredible. I love that, you jumped in as a side hustler and thought, okay, I'm going to invest in my business like I've never done before. And it's going to reap the results that it's never done before,
Yeah. On a personal note too, my kids see me, my girls, and
how old are they?
Mom, my oldest is almost 13 and my youngest is 11. And, my youngest one, she's, can I come with you and help, and she's hustling. She's trying to sell, like, if you buy 5, they're only $15, and it's great. Like the lessons transcend just this.
I love that.
It's so important.
Do you, how fast do you think you made back your investment after joining?
I mean, it was within months. I would not have done any of the things that happened that last quarter of 2022. I wouldn't have spent the money, but I wouldn't have made that plus thousands.
Yeah. Well, you made $2,000 times 3. So that was 6,000 in that period of time. I would say it was more like weeks instead of.
Yeah. I would say within that first month, really, because if it's, you made about $6,500 and within that, like the last 3 months of the year. So it's pretty incredible. And then I guess I want to sort of wrap it up with you giving advice or anything to people that are watching right now, because you're a side hustler, like you have a full-time wonderful job, you're a mom of 2 kids, you're a swim mom, which means you're also a sports mom, which means you were busy.
And you're a teen
and
mom, preteen mom. My oldest is 12. She turns 13 this year. And it's another layer as well, in an amazing way too, but
so what advice
definitely
would you
complex.
give someone? Yeah. Like, so what advice would you give someone on the fence about thinking about joining or feeling like my business is too small or this isn't right for me? Or, there's all the things that we play in our head as to why. So what would be your advice?
That it's not, there is no right time. Jacqueline, I was on the live earlier today when you were talking about, like just the analogy of having kids, which I felt that way about kids too. Like, I'm not ready yet, and you'll never be ready. And that's the same for your business, but you are ready enough to start. So are you ready to take it to the next level? If you think about the investment you've put into your business up until this point, knowing if you just knew that you could do this and come out the other side even better, why wouldn't you? And so again, it's not just for the big businesses. It's look at me, and what is having that playbook worth to you? Because everything comes at a cost, especially time. So if you could save time from making poor decisions or mistakes, what is that worth to you? And what's the community and the intangibles, that courage and that motivation and that inspiration, what is that worth to you? And you can't put a hard dollar on that, but it's something that will continue to give a return because it will grow.
I love that. Good.
You're so eloquent in how you speak and just amazing. You might hear yourself quoted in the future. So thank you so much for taking time off from your job today. It really, truly means a lot to us that you were here with us. I hope you get a little bit of time to even kick back and relax with your day off and spending the time with us.
Yeah. Great. And so let's end it with letting our listeners know where to share from you, buy from you, share from you, share you, buy from you, and follow you.
So my website is fansparkle.com, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all with the same name, just at Fansparkle. I'm on YouTube, but I haven't done the YouTube videos yet, but it's all the same handle. Thankfully, they were all available.
And such a good name for your business, by the way.
I agree.
So good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So fansparkle.com. I might be ordering some axolotl stickers for my son's birthday. And thank you so much for being here and for being live with us and our community. When you get into Multi-Stream Machine or you see Gina in the group, say hello and let her know how this impacted you.
Thank you both so much.
Wasn't that such a fantastic inside peek into Gina's side hustle and story? Our biggest takeaway is that she took action, right? Action takers really are moneymakers. And we are so proud of you, Gina, for investing into yourself, investing into your business, even as a side hustler, and jumping into the community with confidence and immediate action. And she had mentioned that she made 90% of her revenue for the year in those last 4 months of being a student. And it really blows my mind. It just shows you that you can at any time really decide that you want it to be your best year yet. And so really proud of you, Gina. Thank you so much for sharing your story and inspiring others. Okay, friends. Now, this next episode of this double-sode, we are going to jump into our follow-up episode with Rachel Dunn of Rachel Dunn Jewelry. She was originally on episode 297, so make sure you listen to that. And she truly is a fan favorite because she is an Etsy seller who side hustles. She has a special needs son, and she is just such a generous soul, and she's heavily involved in the Product Boss community because she's so amazingly generous and such a wonderful person to know, such a kind person. And we're just really proud to share her story with you. So it's been a little over a year since we last spoke with her, and we're really excited to give you those updates on where she is now on her journey as a side hustling product boss. She continues to grow and she continues to create her version of her dream life. And that's really what we want to share with all of you because you can do it too. So let's dive in. Organizing and growing your business can be difficult, especially when you're wearing all the hats and doing all the things.
Absolutely. As much as I love hats, I don't love wearing all of them. So one of the most difficult things about having a product-based business is finding time to make sure your business is organized while still growing. But don't worry, because we have a recommendation that will make it easier for you to accomplish both.
Yeah, if you want to organize your business, you need a CRM. If you actually want to grow your business, you need HubSpot CRM.
With HubSpot, your sales, marketing, customer service, and ops teams will have access to all the same dynamically updated data, so they won't get their wires crossed on where a customer is in their journey or how to convert them.
Plus, HubSpot CRM is easy to buy and easy to use, so you don't have to waste valuable time with the learning curve or managing software, and you start seeing value right away.
Learn more about how HubSpot can help you grow better at HubSpot.com. Hey, Product Boss. We all know that building a product-based business isn't easy, is it? But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be so hard.
In fact, when you have the right systems and support in place, you can skyrocket your sales and finally create the product business that fits your life and lifestyle. That's why we're so excited to announce that Multi-Stream Machine is officially open for enrollment for a limited time.
We've taken our 20 years of experience in building product-based businesses, including our own, which have generated millions, and created a completely turnkey system to help you scale your business and create the revenue you've dreamed of.
If you're a product-based business owner who's ready to build a sustainable and thriving business that can support itself and pay you the salary you dream of.
Or get more customers to easily find you and buy from you without spinning your wheels while stuck on social media and spending money on paid ads.
Have a clear roadmap that shows you exactly how to create a plan and sell more so you can stop guessing and start knowing.
Then you're going to want to head to multistreammachine.com and check it out.
You can go through the course at your own pace. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, and our thousands of alumni can tell you there's no other course for product-based businesses like it.
So friends, we'll see you in there. Well, hello friends, and welcome to a Student Spotlight. We are so excited to share these stories with you of our Multi-Stream Machine students and really give you an idea of where they were and where they are now, especially once they join Multi-Stream Machine, and just how their lives have changed and how their businesses have changed. Now, we have a super special guest coming on that this is an actual update of this guest because she has been on the podcast before. She's been in the Student Spotlights before. She is someone that so many of you love and has really grown her business despite everything else that's been thrown her way. So Mina, you want to give any more secret intros, or you want to give the real intro?
Secret is that she's a star and everybody loves having her in the community because she's really the epitome of, collaboration over competition. She's just amazing. She also works very much on her business, and her podcast happens to be one of our most downloaded too. People really love her story. So without further ado, we want to welcome, and let me do a quick drum roll of sorts, Rachel Dunn of Rachel Dunn Jewelry. Come on down.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
And
Welcome to the workshop and challenge community. All of our friends here that are doing amazing work within the workshops and heading into the challenge, the Bestseller Secrets Challenge. And you, Rachel, are just a superstar and a Multi-Stream Machine student and alumni that has just done incredible, amazing things.
Oh, you guys are so awesome. I feel so blessed to know you guys and to be part of this community. It has been an absolute joy and blessing for me to be hanging out with you guys and a MSM alumni It is so exciting. I love this course. It has changed my life and my business. I can't say enough good things about it and all the beautiful Product Boss people that I've met here with you guys. It's been awesome.
Well, we're so happy to have you. Like one of the things that really I feel like is so significant about your story is that you come from Etsy, but you also have a full-time job. And can you get into a little bit of your background, like how you came to be like a business owner and
what your business is?
Yeah, and what your business is.
Yes. So my business is Rachel Dunn Jewelry, and we create jewelry that helps you get back in touch with your own wisdom. And we have natural gemstone and mostly sterling silver jewelry that we handcraft in our studio in Virginia. It's in our home. And we started our Etsy shop in 2018. And we were all set. We were really gung-ho for, all the sales that we were going to get that did not happen right away. So we started to look at different sources and places that we could find some answers. And that's how we came across the Product Boss, which has been a game changer for our business. So it was through one of the challenges that I met you beautiful ladies, and we went through the challenge, and we just thought, and when I say we, I mean my husband and I. So we were blown away by the information and so forth that we learned through the challenge and through Multi-Stream Machine. So our sales had started off slow when we started on Etsy, but we thought, other people can do this, so why can't we? So we put our nose to the grindstone, and we found Multi-Stream Machine, and we started implementing the modules that we went through there, and we took our business to a level that we never thought we would get to. In 2021, we grew our business so much that it just blew us away. We couldn't believe it. We had this audacious goal of $52,800 for the year. And
it's a side hustle, right?
Side hustle. Yes.
Right. Because you have a full-time job.
And I have a child with autism. Go
ahead.
Sorry. And so we have 2 children, and our oldest is autistic. And anyone out there who has children, has pets, has plants, or gives care to anything other than themselves knows how much hard work it takes to work full time. And then if you have a side hustle and do all the things that our life requires of us. So we grew our business on Etsy, but I really want to stress how much we learned from Multi-Stream Machine through SEO and the modules that were in there, and that really grew our business and helped us reach our goals. We never thought we would be at this revenue level.
So let me ask you a good question, because some people, you all can go back and listen. And by the way, our team is in the chat and the comments right now. So if you have any questions about the challenge, the workshop, if you want to chat with Rachel is also going to be responding in the chat. But my question to you is where did you start? So you started off trying to sell on Etsy, and really it was slow going. It was a side hustle. You're hand making all your jewelry. What was the revenue before a Multi-Stream Machine that your business was making?
So we did about $4,000.
Okay.
Before we joined
in a year or a month?
Yeah, for a year.
A year. Okay.
The month before we did Multi-Stream Machine, I think we were like $135 for that month. But when we joined Multi-Stream Machine, our revenue jumped to $2,000 the following month.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It really jumped. And we were like, wow. We we paid for the course in less than 30 days. And we also started to realize there were holes in our business. And we started learning things that we never even knew were things to learn.
Mm.
So you don't know what you don't know. And I think really the important part is you need to find a community and a course where you can really dive into in order to be able to jump in that revenue, because you don't know what you don't know. And in order to reach the goals that you have, you need a kind of some sort of guide or some sort of pinpoint to say, hey, these are things that you can do to execute. You can execute these things and do these things in order to reach those goals. So we went from a very small amount of $4,000 up to like a $50,000 a year. It was
Amazing.
crazy bonkers. We loved it. We worked our butts off. But it really taught us how to price our products, how to be smarter in our business decisions. And now we go back into multi-stream machine so we go back in after every Q4, because that's our busy season. And then we go back in and do it again before Q4 of the next year.
Oh, wow.
We found that sometimes we get off track and we need to realign ourselves.
Like every product business or any business owner out there.
Yeah.
I do have a question because we don't teach Etsy. So while Etsy was your main platform, we actually don't teach Etsy inside of Multi-Stream Machine. A lot of people that join are Etsy sellers, but they have really big dreams. They want to think bigger. They want to think differently than all the other Etsy sellers. So how would you say then anyone watching that does sell on Etsy, but they're like, but wait, this course doesn't teach Etsy. How did the program and the course help you grow your business from 4,000 in a year to 50,000 in a year without us teaching anything about it?
So each module of Multi-Stream Machine teaches you how to fine tune your business, no matter what platform you sell on, in my opinion. So whether you're on Etsy or Amazon or wherever, it really gives you insights into things that you can do for your business to get exposure, to become more visible. The one thing that I really loved was the SEO module, because I use that in my Etsy shop to get more exposure, to find better keywords. There's also a really great module on listing descriptions, and it helped me explain my product in words, because I can talk about it all day long, but to write it down and put a description on paper is more difficult for me. So I was able to go, okay, let me listen to this description module so that I can write better descriptions and let my customers know why they should choose my product. Why is mine better? And it helped me with wording and language. And the pricing part, a lot of Etsy sellers feel like they have to race to the bottom of the pricing. And that's not true. You need to make a profit and you need to have that revenue coming in. So there are millions of people purchasing products every day, and yours can be priced correctly and have it put money in your pocket and have your business be rewarding and return that love to you. So I think no matter what platform, whether it's Etsy or Amazon, even with social media platforms, Multi-Stream Machine covers so much. You don't even know how much it covers until you can really get in there and look at it, because you don't know what you don't know. And getting in there and looking at it, you will see other ways to become profitable that you may not have thought of. And it just, it's something that keeps on giving back to me, because we had this year we had a local business reach out to us about coming to their shop in person. And I haven't done anything in person in like years. So I need to get into one of the modules on MSM so that I can brush up on being in person. And I like that it covers everything. And anytime I have a question, I can go, okay, let me get back in here. I've got this great resource tool and I can look at it and see, okay, this is what I need to do to be prepared when I go to this so that I'm doing my best.
So good.
Yeah, I love that so much. And you're such an action taker. And I think our whole community just adores you because it's not overwhelming or anything like that, but you really are, like I had mentioned at the beginning, just collaborative and, encouraging to our community. Can you talk a little bit about the community and what difference that made even in your path in that way, where it's like, because we describe Multi-Stream Machine as a program. And I think that's really important because it can get so lonely. Like, how did that switch your outlook?
So I was super lonely. My husband was so bored of me talking about my business that
I know. I feel ya. So we laugh. That's why I laugh.
sometimes I'll be talking to him and he'll just completely zone out. It's like his eyes glaze over. But so you're right, Mina. The community is fantastic. The Facebook group and the community that I have found within Multi-Stream Machine and the business, I know, buddies, business
besties,
however you want to say it, have really been so good because there's so many people out there alone doing this, and you get kind of sucked into your product and you second guess things and you wonder, is this good? How should I do this? Maybe I should try tweaking this or this. But you can run these things by the community and they give you honest opinion on things. And that's extremely valuable when you're out there on an island, that's your business, and you feel like, okay, how do I know if what I'm doing is a good idea, or could I tweak this to make it better? You can ask anyone in the community through the Facebook group, hey, what's your thoughts on this? And there's so many people that pipe in and go, hey, have you thought of this? Hey, have you thought of that? And it's amazing how much love there is in there and how much fun and success there is. Because everyone, they want to see people aspire.
And they do. And one thing for everybody to know, that because we have so many new people here joining us here today, and the Multi-Stream Machine is a new concept to them. They're here for the free workshops and the free challenge. But one thing is that when you do invest in yourself into Multi-Stream Machine, like Rachel did, not only, you made your investment back in a month, but the thing that's amazing about our program is that you actually get lifetime access to the core content. So, and any future updates to that core content. So what you're talking about is, we recently did a refresh on Amazon. So for you, Rachel, if this year you decide that Amazon's something you want to do, you jump back into MSM and you learn that. The other thing that's lifetime access right now is our community. So that is the thing that, like, over and over and over, we hear from people saying, the investment into the program is worth it alone just in the community. And I think that part is just bonkers, because we're talking about all the amazing information within the program, but then for you finding those besties and not feeling so alone and taking that pressure off of our spouses from trying to hear all the things that we're going through, I think for me was the biggest game changer when I met Mina. And I'm so glad that we were able to create that for so many other business owners out there.
Exactly. And, when you surround yourself with people that are aspiring you to do well, it lifts you up and gives you a place to gain business knowledge and business traction. So as a business owner, I can say this group aspires to do so well and wants to see others do well. And the term lift each other up is exactly that. And you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So choosing to be in a group where people want you to succeed, want you to do well, can make a phenomenal difference in your business.
Yeah. And people who speak kind of the same language, right? Product business, because I think it gets really hard. Like, even if you're surrounding yourself in any community, like let's say it's all service based people and you kind of feel like you don't belong, or, with the moms on the playground, I used to feel this way and I'd be like, oh, I could never even say any of this stuff. I want to kind of share one of the stories that just blew me away because you're still a full time, you still work full time. This is still your side hustle. But tell us about, and I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about, the really big purchase that you made for your daughter.
Okay, so we had some really fun things happen to us this year. Um, it was really exciting, and I'm not going to cry, I promise, but I might cry a little bit.
It's okay. We cry here.
Yeah, and she shared them in the community, which is so amazing because this is right. Everybody just wants to see everybody succeed, and I love that you shared it with all of us.
Yes, so we had some really awesome wins because of our hard work and our action taking this year. And one of the things that we really wanted to do is our daughter, she really wanted a pony. And so she's little, she's small. So we were able to do this, like rehoming of this sweet pony. And she just loves this pony. So it was so exciting. She was like, "Oh my gosh." We surprised her. She's like, "Where are we going?" We took the day off and like went and picked up this pony. And she was like, "Oh my God, is that for me?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is for you." So,
So you actually got to make a little girl's dream come true, because I'll tell you, I'm still wishing for that pony on every birthday candle. And your business, your side hustle, your jewelry, your handmade jewelry business was able to also help you like fulfill this wish and this dream for your daughter.
exactly, you know,
That's
and
amazing.
and it comes in any, it can come for you in any way. Maybe you want your dream vacation, maybe your child wants something very special, only special to them. Our autistic son, we were able to give him a very specialized bike that he could ride. It had to have accommodations, we had to special order it, and it was very expensive because you have to have all the things for physical limitations and so forth. So, you know, these kids were able to enjoy some things that we weren't able to do in the past because of our financial, where we were financially. So our business has helped us just, experience a little bit more joy, things that we would never have had. And then our our last super awesome big win. Well, not our last, but another big win. So my mom and dad are elderly, and they have a very limited income at this point in their life, and they were not able to afford to buy a new vehicle. And my mom's car was like a 94. She's sporting around her old 94 car, and she's telling me, "I don't know if it's going to pass inspection." She's like, "I'm afraid." So we were able to give her a new vehicle this year.
Wow.
And she was crying. She was like, "I can't take this, you can't do this." And I'm like, "Yes, we can, because we worked hard. We did the things, and we're able to give you this because we love you." And it's so monumental to be able to give back to those in your life that you love. And it can be in any form. Maybe you want to go on the family vacation, or you want to see places in the world that you've never seen before. And these things are possible. And another great thing I learned this year is mindset, changing your mindset. And the community helped me do it. And I stopped telling myself, "Oh, you can't really do that. You're not going to be able to do that." And the community helped me change my thought process. And you ladies did too. I'm like, it can be done. It can be done. Why not?
Why not? I love that. Why not?
Yeah.
for Rachel, because this is an update, right? Because we've had you on about a year ago and we wanted to do an update. So for Rachel a year ago, or even Rachel when she had made $4,000 in the year, would you have believed us or would you have stopped yourself if we had told you, look, you're going to make $50,000 in this next year? And then 2 years from now, you're going to have bought a pony, a specialized bike, you're going to buy your parents a car. Like, would you have believed it? And then would it have felt, because I know for some people watching, like it would have felt overwhelming. Like when we think about this like growth, it's like, how do I keep up? Because you're a handmade business and a full-time job and a child that needs you a lot more than a lot of our kids, right? So what would you say to her back then and how do you feel now?
I would tell her, do not tell yourself no anymore. You can do it. Just take the steps, take the action, test, try, and surround yourself with people that want the same thing. And don't look back and never tell yourself no again.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, you truly are one of the most generous and beautiful people. I mean, a pony for your daughter, a special bike for your son, a car for your mom. Everybody has this different version of their dream life. And I think that you're living that in such a beautiful way. That's something that Jacqueline and I truly want all of you to know is that we really want you to live your dream life, not our version of your dream life, but we want to help you build your business that is the vehicle to your dream life. And I think that you're such an exemplary person of that, of, the things that you value and just incredible. Like the things that you've done this year and the last couple years is just like, this update is just wild and phenomenal. So
we appreciate you ladies so much. You guys are like the gurus of small businesses like mine. And I can't imagine a life without you two ladies. Your voice is heard in my home. My children can identify your voices.
In a lineup, I'm sure our laughs. Oh my God, why am I crying? No, Rachel. Sorry.
But you guys have changed lives. I mean, look, I started out with scraping and scrounging around with, a few sales here, a few sales there, to like being told, hey, you can do this. And then getting in there and going, okay, I can do it. I can make some changes and I can share this joy with my family and just other businesses too. I can't imagine you guys not in my business, not hearing you in the back of my mind going, okay, get in there, test and try, audit, and do all the things because you can do this. And don't ever let anyone tell you you can't, because you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I will tell you, our feeling is mutual. And we know we've told you this, but Rachel has been such as you can see, that she's so giving. She receives, but she gives it away just as quickly, right? And you're so supportive. You're there in the lives. You're cheering on other people when we're live in our workshops and our challenges. You're cheering on people that are, at the beginning of the journey that you were on a couple of years ago. And you cheer us on. And so, we have a very big community, but you're one of the most special people to us. So I do want to thank you too for just how generous you have been back into this world and into the people and sharing your story so openly, because you really have impacted, as Mina said, you're like one of our most downloaded episodes on the podcast. Yeah.
I think people, that's what they take away from it, is that they can do it too. And I love that they can, it's like you're helping us lift the lid right off their brains. I want to kind of wrap it up with one last question. I haven't prepped you on this, but I think it would be really fun to end with what you're excited about for your business coming up this year.
So we've really dreamt big, and we are hoping to hit 100,000. That's
amazing.
Our wonderful number, that dream number that every business wants to get to. But we also want to do it with fewer working hours we do a lot of hard work. My husband works full time. I work full time outside the home. And then we have our business. And multi-stream machine has allowed us to find ways of fine tuning, being more profitable so that we can make sure we are generating revenue and that we don't have to do it by working 90 to 100 hours a week.
Yeah. That's the plan.
100%. And I think, and that's the thing, right? Because people think if I'm going to get to $100,000, there's no possible way I can do that with my own two hands. And I mean, literally your business is your own two hands. So I want to share, and you can just elaborate on this, but you see a path there. You see a path to $100,000 working less, which is a thought I don't think you would have had a couple of years ago.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I've completely grown as a person and as a business owner. And that's why I love multi-stream machine, because I can go back into it as, I was a beginner. And then now I'm, moving forward in my business, and I can still reflect on it. So it's like a tool in my tool belt. So I keep using it, even though, I might not be the same Rachel I was 2-3 years ago. I can still use this investment as I grow my business. So we can do in person, we can do emails, we can do all the things and still have that tool to go back to and say, okay, we're ready for this now. We want to try this and try doing that and use our tool, multi-stream machine, to make it happen.
So good. Well, I think all of us here live should congratulate you and give you a round of applause.
Oh, thank you.
We haven't done a round of applause in a while. I'm glad we're doing this for Rachel.
People are so impressed by you and your story, and thank you for sharing it. And I think you're proof it can be done, right? We say she's not your competition. She's proof it can be done. You are proof it can be done in a different way. And it doesn't look the way we all imagine it to be. Like, it's all just imaginary how we think it would take to get there versus actually like what you said of taking that first step and just taking action and never saying no to yourself again, which I love.
Never say no. And, I have my Post-it note. I don't know if it's it, but equal money makers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Action takers are money makers. That's
and
right.
You are.
So we're excited to spend another year and the future with you ladies. We're excited for 2023 and many years to come here. So, and we look forward to seeing what all these other wonderful small businesses and product businesses are going to do this year.
Amazing.
Same.
Well, cheers to you. I'm going to cheers you with my coffee. And if, whatever random cup you might have on your desk. Yes.
I don't have a cup. I have a spoon. That's literally what I have. I don't have any dishes or anything besides just random spoon.
That's all.
So good.
My name is Amanda, and I'm the owner of Worthy of Agape. And since joining MSM and following Jacqueline and Mina, my sales are up 33%. And I have really learned to lean into my best sellers and promote those, which has made a huge difference.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.